Infection is definitely a fan favorite in Halo, and every Halo game does Infection a little bit differently. But where did all of these different versions of Infection get their start? Many people don't know about the origins of Infection in Halo, and that's what I'm going to be going over in this video. Let me know what gut-tearing version of Infection you enjoy in Halo down below in the comments section, and I can guarantee that one of the comments in the comments section will get something that will rip your enemies apart. Infection, zombies, whatever you want to call it, has a pretty humble beginning in Halo. It all started with Halo 2 and the introduction of Xbox Live. For the first time in an Xbox Halo game, people could play with each other over Xbox Live. And this collaboration across tons of different players sparked a ton of creativity in the Halo 2 scene. Custom games options were pretty slim at the time, but that didn't stop us from making some pretty cool stuff on our own. You see, back then there was no dedicated Infection game type, so we had to make one up for ourselves. Unfortunately, because in the MCC you could not change teams when you're playing Halo 2 Classic, it is impossible to play this version of Infection. This is the only true gameplay of Halo 2 Classic Infection that I could find on the internet, and that's sad because the Halo 2 servers were shut down. Basically, you just played Slayer with a red team and a green team. Red team were the humans and the green team was the zombies. Both teams started with both a sword and a pistol. Green team zombies would hold out the sword, while red team humans would hold out the pistol. If a green team player killed you with their sword, you were infected, and you had to manually switch over from red to green. When everyone was on the green team, the game ended. It was simple and fun, and it relied on the trust of your fellow man to follow the rules. With no dedicated Infection game type, it was very common for people to just stay on the human team after being killed. So if you're going to play Halo 2 Classic Infection, make sure that the party leader is the most trusted person in the room.
10 seconds remaining.
Halo 3 was a great time for Infection, because in Halo 3 we got it validated by Bungie. Halo 3 was the first game that had an official Infection game type, meaning you didn't have to do this garbage with the red and green team switching. It made Infection more fair, and it opened us up for a ton of new game modes within Infection. Brains, Save One Bullet, Speed Demons, Fat Kid. All of these game modes came because Infection became an official game type. Though there was never a dedicated playlist for Infection. Infection only came around once in a great while with Double XP Weekend. One weekend there was a temporary ranked and competitive Infection playlist, which a lot of people got 50s on. Forge was in its infancy for Halo 3, but you could already see the potential with some of these awesome looking Infection maps. Spooky House is still one of my favorites. But of course, Halo 3 Infection still had its problems. The Infection playlist was always temporary, mostly because Double XP Weekend playlists were boosted incessantly in Halo 3. And Infection was incredibly easy to boost if you just plugged in some more controllers into your Xbox. Also, Halo 3 Infection seems to always pick on the zombies. In Halo 3, for almost every game type, being an infected is not a very fun experience. The humans are very overpowered in Halo 3. It was downright infuriating to be a zombie in the Halo 3 Infection days, and I think the biggest reason that most people didn't just quit out when they got infected was the fact that Halo 3's ranking system severely punished you when you quit out. But we'll bring up this idea later. Ultimately, Halo 3 brought upon the Infection that most of us remember today, and if you haven't played Halo in a very long time, this is probably the Infection you remember, and it still holds up today as a fun game mode on the Master Chief Collection.
Double kill. Infected. New zombie.
If you ask me about the matchmaking experience of Halo Reach, as a casual experience I think Halo Reach was a great game, but as a competitive player at that time I wanted a little bit more from the game. But I think what makes Halo Reach really great, and also what makes it one of the most fan-favorite Halo games, is the fact that it had such a good casual scene. And sitting at the helm of that casual scene was the Halo Reach Infection playlist. Halo Reach was the first Halo game to have a dedicated Infection playlist that you could play at any time. And that dedicated playlist sparked the huge amount of demand for zombies, and that playlist, the Halo Reach Infection playlist, is still populated today. This game came out 7 years ago, and there are still people playing in the Infection game mode. And this was for a couple reasons, but one of the biggest was because Halo Reach zombies had one of the best credit rates that you could earn in Halo Reach. I made a whole video on how to get max rank in Halo Reach, and zombies is one of the fastest ways, especially if you're good. But I think what really made Halo Reach zombies so special was the fact that for the first first time, being a zombie in a Halo game was actually sort of fun. I think Halo Reach zombies and humans had probably the best balance of any of the Halo games so far, even the newer ones. If you were a human with a good shot, you could take down a pretty good amount of zombies. But the zombies were fast enough to pick up the little guys. And in Halo Reach, a horde of zombies, even poor ones, can still kill you. This balance made it fun to be a zombie and also fun to be a human, so the entirety of an infection match in Halo Reach was fun. Whereas before in Halo 2 and Halo 3, if you were a human, you were having a good time, but if you were playing as a zombie character, you felt like you were it. Halo Reach created the first real drive for zombie gameplay. People thought about how to be a better zombie because they actually had the tools and abilities to kill people as a zombie. Halo Reach was the first Halo game to really change the strategy of zombies. Before, zombies was just about building up a horde and charging in, but in Halo Reach, a zombie could use skill to outplay a human and get an infection, and this made the entire Halo Reach zombie experience one of the best we've ever seen. You know what the best part about being a Halo fan is? Things will be real good. Like, you'll think that Halo's gonna get better, and then someone comes along and just makes it so much worse. Yeah, we're talking about infection, so like, I have to bring up Halo 4. I don't want to talk about Halo 4's infection, but, you know, contractually, I'm obligated to. Halo 4 tried to pioneer a new way to play infection with flood mode. But this hot steaming pile of mutilated remains will go down as probably the worst infection ever. The spawns were terrible, the forged maps had obvious frame rate issues. The zombies had enhanced movement, could go invisible or see through walls, and were far too strong. In Halo 4, when I still did tips and tricks for that game, I found that just getting assists in zombies can actually be better than trying to kill them. A zombie assist in Halo 4 accounts for about half the kill of an actual zombie kill, but it takes 3 full magnum bullets in Halo 4 zombies to get a kill, so shooting one bullet into the zombie and then letting someone else kill him can actually get you the win much easier. Halo 4 zombies brought upon a ton of different confusing ways to win the game, and it was mostly because the zombies were just far too overpowered. If you were good enough as a zombie, sometimes it was in your best interest to kill yourself as a human and become a zombie forcefully. There's no balance in Halo 4's infection mode, and you can definitely tell, and it made for one of the worst zombie modes yet. Though I will say the flood forms in Halo 4 did look pretty cool, and I would love to see something like this return in future games. But even if a game looks really nice, if it plays like garbage, it's still garbage.
5 minutes remain.
Like Halo 4, Halo 2 Anniversary had an infection mode that looked very good. You gotta love the combination of the red energy sword of the infected and their mangled armor and bits of flood form poking out. And starting with that classic feeling Halo 2 pistol, this infection could have been really awesome. But in Halo 2 Anniversary infection, you start with way too many bullets and way too much time. The zombies in Halo 2 Anniversary infection are very underpowered, especially with the Halo 2 Anniversary pistol, which is much better than the Halo 2 Classic pistol. And with all of the ammo that you start with that you can pick up on the map, and all of the ammo that your fellow humans are definitely going to drop when they get killed, you can essentially survive for the entire 6 minutes in Halo 2 Anniversary infection. And if you're playing as a zombie, no matter how cool you look, it's still not very fun to play as a zombie in Halo 2 Anniversary. The gameplay in the background is me getting 49 kills against some zombies that really didn't know what they were doing. The odds were stacked against them, and because Halo 2 Anniversary zombies really aren't that strong, I was able to completely decimate them. I can't imagine that the experience was that fun for anyone on the zombie team. Compounded with the fact that Halo 2 Anniversary had a little bit of a wonky Forge mode, there wasn't a lot of Forge community support for infection for Halo 2 Anniversary. So every map that you're going to play in Halo 2 Anniversary infection is going to be developer made, and they're not that good. There's obvious hiding spots that leads to a lot of dead rounds for the infected, allowing some players to, well, get 49 kills. Just another example of how a good looking game and game mode can fall flat if the gameplay isn't there. The last infection that we're going to talk about is the Halo 5 infection, and I think that thanks to 343 Industries' constant updates, Halo 5 infection will be remembered as one of the best. Sure, Halo 5 didn't release with infection straight out of the box, and we can't let 343 forget that, but I think there are a ton of good things going on in Halo 5 infection right now. For one, like Halo Reach, my all-time favorite infection mode, the zombies and the humans are fairly balanced. It can be fun to be both a human and a zombie, especially if you are starting out as an alpha zombie. You can use stealth tactics or bum rush the enemy as a zombie to get tons of kills. If you can outsmart the humans, you can turn the tides on them even though they have much better firepower. And the Halo 5 infection mode actually looks pretty decent. They went with more of a green sort of biohazard aesthetic. They did ditch the flood aesthetic, but I think that would be kind of cool to bring back. But then again, the only two Halo games that had flood zombies did have pretty poor zombie modes. Maybe it was good for 343 to distance themselves from those two zombie modes because Halo 5 actually has a pretty good zombie mode, especially now with the updated Brains mode, which gives a more classic feel to the Halo 5 zombies. Instead of alpha zombies starting out with the ability to go invisible and humans, especially the last man, having unlimited ammo, Brains is a much more simple yet fun version of Halo 5 zombies. It draws on that classic feel of using just a pistol and a shotgun to survive the horde, and you have a very limited amount of ammo. If you want to survive till the end of a round, you need to pick up ammo from your fallen comrades. Trying to stay alone will work for a while, but not for long. I think since Halo Reach, this is one of the best ways to play zombies. Also, with Halo 5's Forge mode, we've seen some of the best zombie maps in the entire franchise. They look real spooky, they play pretty well, and it ultimately all adds to that great Halo 5 zombie experience. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you learned a little bit about infection, how it started, and how we've kind of evolved over the years. I said earlier that someone in the comment section would get something that would rip their enemies apart. Yes, I am giving away a straight rippin' skin in this video. All you have to do is subscribe and comment down below to enter. I was brought onto the content team for the Halo Pro Team Straight Rippin', and I want to show a little bit more love on this video. If you'd like to see more of me, you can hit the logo on the left, subscribe to my channel, and see more of my content. And if you'd like to figure out which brutes across all of the Halo games are the strongest, click the link on the right. Thank you all for watching, please stay notable, and I will see you in the next video.